Halfway through the Rubicon Trail, my Jeep 392 almost died. I looked underneath and oil was dripping like crazy. There's one flaw that the factory never tells you about that almost left me stranded. Aside from all the absurdly fun things, this is the Jeep 392's biggest weakness, especially in the early models before a major manufacturing change happened. This is a fragile aluminum oil pan, hanging low, completely exposed to rocks, and when it cracks, your engine's lifeblood could be gone in seconds. For me, I think this happened on big sloughs. Traffic was stacked, the line was awkward, and I took a couple really hard hits trying to get around people. When we finally stopped at Rubicon Springs, I walked back to the Jeep, and my heart sank. Oil was dripping fast. I knew right then and there, this was bad. All I could think about was how am I even going to get home? Out there, a cracked oil pan doesn't just mean repair, it means recovery. And I can't even imagine what a recovery would cost in that type of a scenario. Thankfully it wasn't done. The crew rallied, we borrowed some Weld from a fellow Jeeper who was super gracious, and we patched it up the best we could. It wasn't pretty, but it was enough to keep us moving. However, that drive out was nerve-wracking. Every bump, every vibration, wondering if the patch would hold or not. Somehow, I did get it home, but the damage was done. And let me tell you, an aluminum oil pan is not cheap. Finding one, getting it replaced, well, that's a whole nother story. So if you want some details, leave me a comment below. But honestly, money wasn't the worst part. For me, it was trust. My Jeep, built to be the king of off-road, it let me down in the worst way. This single flaw turned a dream trip into the worst nightmare. Look, I knew I could not keep driving with this type of vulnerability. I needed real protection, not a cosmetic plate, not an overbuilt belly skid. I needed a targeted fix. Something to protect the 392's weakest point without compromise. And the search led me to Rusty's Off-Road. Their engine pan is built specifically for the 392. Now look, I've used their products before. Very strong, very affordable, very proven. Rusty even thought about the details. Cut out 392 logos, an access panel for oil changes, 4-inch sides that box in the oil pan. This even extends down to shield the exhaust downpipe as well as the transmission. The real genius is how it mounts. Heavy-duty brackets tie straight into the frame and the engine mounts, spreading impacts across the strongest part of the Jeep. This isn't cosmetic, it's structural. Here's all the tools that I used to install. For more information, check out the description below. Now, it's time to remove the transmission crossmember as well as the transfer case skid plate. Now, time to install the driver's side bracket onto the studs above. This connects directly to the frame. Loosely tighten the bolt. Now the passenger side. I found out pretty quickly that this thing wasn't going to fit in there, so a little self-clearancing with the grinder went a long way. I chose to do it to the bracket and not the frame of the Jeep. And just like that, it dropped right in. If you're finding this video helpful, do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It makes a huge difference for me and ensures that you won't miss what's coming next. Now let's get back to it. Now, time to lift up the skid plate. Here, we're going to start the bolts loosely just to hold it in place. Keeping the bolts loose will make it easy to make little adjustments to make sure everything fits right. With everything in place, I went ahead and installed the rear bolts with these nifty little washers. These will help the bolts survive rock hits and make it easy to uninstall the plate when needed for maintenance. Now, time to tighten everything up, as well as reinstall the transfer case skid plate. Started by tightening the brackets to the frame and motor mount, and then the lower bolts between the skid and the brackets. So, there you have it. Jeep 392's biggest flaw, all gone. Rusty's Off-Road didn't just patch a flaw, they built something that restores confidence. For me, this isn't just a mod, this is going to be a transformation. I was pretty hesitant to wheel this Jeep with that big thing hanging down, just waiting like a ticking time bomb. And now, I have the confidence to go out and explore and do the things that I want to do because of the protection that's underneath. I hope this story and fix helped you out. Now I'd love to hear yours. Are you protecting the underside of your rig? Do you run a different skid system? Are you thinking about a mod? Go ahead and leave me a comment below so we can have a conversation. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you can stay tuned for more stories, more upgrades, and more adventures to help you build a confident Jeep and get out there and explore. Until next time, thank you for watching, and this is Path to Rome.